Yo, what's going on, guys? So this part, the first step, pretty much what you just saw. You want to be able to find a landing spot that you're comfortable with. So pretty much what I'll do is go to lootlake.info. This is where all the pros you can pretty much go here to see everything at your loot spot. So the step one of this is know your skills and know what you're good at. So first thing you need to know is, are you like your skill level? When you come to realize what your skill level is, like you can't just have an ego and think you're really good if you're not, and just hot drop grotto every game because you're gonna die off spawn. Like obviously, you can't do that. So come to a realization what your skill level is. So if you're really good at the game, you really don't have to think about a drop spot. You just go to every hot drop and you win the game. But it's not for like this video is not for people like that. So pretty much what you want to do is find a drop spot. It could be named. Named drop spots are probably like the medium skill level. Like if you go Slurpee or Salty, like you're good at the game, but you're just not like a W keyer to where you want to go like Shark or Grotto. So there's three levels to this. So if you're like a W keyer, you go to a mythic spot. So Grotto, Shark. I already said this. And if you're like decent at the game, you go to somewhere like Lazy Lake Slurpee. And by decent, I mean like you're qualifying for like round two of tournaments. So you're still really good at the game, but like you're not like Booga or like, you know what I mean. But so let's say you're not as good as them, but you're still good at the game. I would go around the map, and there's this thing at the top left right here where you can hit spawns, and you can find these little like locations, and if you zoom in, they have names. So like this is Rainbow Rentals, and there's 5 fishing spots, so you can get floppers. Some of those will have 2 floppers per puddle, and it shows you the scar is floor loot. There's chest and there's fishing poles, so you could think that's a good spot for you if you want to land there. And I would just go around the whole map. It's kind of laggy. I don't know why, but I would just go around the whole map and find little areas. So let's say you want to land like the slurp truck right here. You could land like there. I don't know. There's 3 houses right here. So pretty much that's step one is find your landing spot, turn on spawns, and just get a good loot path. Because you want to find your spot and then find spots to rotate out and find fishing spots and stuff like that. So get a good spot, get a good loot path. That's step one for me. Okay, so as you saw by that, step two for me personally would have to be avoiding fights. So pretty much avoiding fights to me means not taking stupid fights and just knowing your positioning, trying to make it end game. Because both of you are trying to make it end game, solos, duos, whatever. Both teams are trying to make it end game, and it just depends on the positioning if you can get the kill or not. So if it's not a good fight, you back up. If it is a good fight, you could probably take it, depending on the positioning. So here's my list of reasons to avoid a fight. All right, number one on my list, and I have to say the most important on the list, is positioning. For me, positioning is so important because it just depends if you have high or low ground naturally without building and to see if you can get a laser on your opponent, because whatever damage you do to the person that you're fighting before you actually engage with them helps you out in the fight a lot. And depending on how much you do to them, it pretty much secures the free win for the 1v1. Okay, so cutting this clip of Mongo coming down a hill and he sees the opponent just sitting there and not looking at him, and he hits him for 37 damage before the fight even begins. At this point in Mongo's head, he already won the fight. With his skill level, if he would have hit him or not, he's already won the fight. Mongo's such a confident player, and he just has that W key mindset where he's pushing you no matter what. I don't suggest you guys to play like this unless you're really good at the game, but this is just an example of positioning on how Mongo came over the hill and saw it was an easy fight to take. Okay, second on the list, I don't know if this is really a good thing to call it, but I'm just going to go ahead and call it not panicking, because in this current meta, there's a lot of controller players that are just looking to get in your box, and at that point, there's nothing you can really do. You're freaking out, and in reality, there's a lot you can do to counter controller players. So pretty much, I'm gonna just call this "Don't Panic." Okay, so we're coming back to Mongo here in the Solo Cash Cup. Pretty much, he's forcing a box fight with this player here, and see how he's keeping a right hand peek the whole time, and he's taking everything, and he's just holding that right hand peek. Okay, next is a really good technique to keep controller players from doing the ramp exploit into your box. That's the most common thing. So as you can see, when he ramps in, you can run out and switch positions. So position switching is very good to counter W keying controller players. Okay, for the third and final one of avoiding fights, this kind of has to go with positioning, but I'll make it its own category because it's very important too. I'm gonna just go with storm and where the next zone is, and that decides your next fight. Okay, so this is a pretty old picture. I just found it on Google, but I'm just gonna break down what I would do in this situation because you got to know how to do different things in different situations. So look where you are. If this was me, and there was an opponent right here, what I would do is try and rotate 10 to 15 seconds before the zone closes in because you don't want to get in a fight with this guy. So this picture doesn't really show perspective because this is an end game kind of scenario, but this could be first, second, third zone, whatever. If you're on edge zone, you never want to fight somebody else that is on edge zone because build fights take a long time in Fortnite and you'll get lost track of time. Then all of a sudden, boom, storm's coming. This happens to me a lot. I always find myself in storm, but there's always something you can work on in Fortnite, and positioning is a big thing here. And once you get past early game, it gets more complicated into end game situations and where to base up and best ways to not get focused by the lobby. That could be a whole different video. Arab, RBK Arab actually makes really good videos on that inside the mind of an IGL. So if you don't know how to play an endgame, go watch his videos. But a lot of people don't know how to make it to endgame. So if this helps you at all, comment down below. Make sure to like the video. And yeah, I hope you enjoy.